All right, you ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go. Here we go.
Welcome back to Strange Range, episode 32.
Dude, Trade Deuce.
Trade Deuce.
Trade Deuce. Today we are actually having a new beer. This is a local one. This is from Kalispell Brewing Cloudcroft IPA.
Yeah, this place is about 5 minutes from my house.
Also, not that anybody should come visit Montana. It sucks here. But if you live in Montana, dude, go check that spot out.
That's pretty good.
So it's a small brewery inside. It's got big glass doors downtown, so you can see all the downtown buildings and stuff. It's really cool, and the sun's kind of setting there. Up top, they have like a little rooftop area with like 2 or 3 tables. Like that's it. But that is a sick spot to have your beer. And then outside they have Handle Brews. And shout out to Handle Brews. I love you guys. Like I've tagged them a million times. Like once they've been like, thanks for tagging me. And I was like, but like,
Dicks.
It's a husband and wife, and they just make a lot of flatbread foods. But like it's a small little truck that they brought up there, and it's in the parking lot. So when you come in the parking lot, you can get your order, and they give you a little number, and then you go inside holding your number, order your beer, and if you can, go upstairs, get on the balcony. They'll come find you. That's pretty rad. They leave the truck, go across the parking lot, go into the building, and they come around, just look for the guy with the number and hand you your food.
What a pain in the ass. But rad. Cool.
I know, but they're like super cool. And like, they just really like making food. So like, I went there once with my ex when I first moved here, and I got like a chorizo. It was pretty much like a chorizo patty burger, but it was in a flatbread. Amazing. Just, I mean, like, dude, their ingredients are amazing, right? I had
that sounds awesome.
2 of them, and I'm dying. I'm like, I need to order one more.
Right.
Have like 2 bites and then take it home, right? I've had like my 2 pints. I'm feeling good. I go down there and I'm like, hey, and they're like, oh, hey, dude. And I'm like, can I get a third one of those? And they're like, hold on. He like the husband like looks back. He's like, man, I think we're out of some of the ingredients. He goes, and I hear, wait, what's he want? And the wife like leaned in and she's like, what do you want? And I told her, and she goes, I don't have all the ingredients. I'm like, well, that's cool. And she goes, do you like this? And she was like, and then do you like this? And then do you like this?
Hell
and I'm
yeah.
like, yeah. And she goes, all right, same price. I'm just going to make something cool. And literally went in the back and
That's way better.
freestyled a meal and added
Hell
like
yeah.
avocado to it and stuff. And like, it was amazing.
That's pretty rad.
So even like me and Jack have gone like scouting for elk. Remember the first year?
Yeah.
Where I was up near the place where we camped, hiking up those back logging roads.
Yep.
We had done a whole day there. That the pictures where me and Jack were in the Beargrass Valley.
Yeah. I do. Yep.
Left there, and it was raining and stuff. Showed up and gave us a big hot meal, and it was like hot sandwiches and stuff.
That's
and, like,
awesome.
And then in the winter, they let them come inside, and they just set up one table in the corner of the brewery, and they have like big ass things of soup and chowder and stew and stuff. And dude, their food is amazing. That spot's awesome. That is the longest ad that was unpaid. And shout out to Kalispell Brewing Company.
We'll talk to you about it. We'll send you the bill.
Yep. Strange brew. We need a strange brew.
Anybody. Anybody.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen. That's happening. We're gonna at least start that process this summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen.
I knew what's cool about living here is I've lived a lot of beer places, a lot, and this is what's funny actually. On the other side of it, Kalispell, when I lived in Louisiana, they're like, "Oh, we got craft brews. You want some?" And it's Abita. You ever had it? Abita. Abita makes one box of beers that are different kinds.
Okay.
That's the craft beer. It's only Abita. Okay. That's it. And it's the worst beer ever. And like they'll drink Bud Light until you die. And they're like, well, I want a good beer. Like, oh, you like them craft brews? Well, get them a box of Abita.
Yeah.
And it's like
they're
4
the people
different
that
beers.
call any kind of craft beer an IPA.
Yes.
Yeah. It's an IPA. You like them IPAs, right? Dude, we got this stout.
The original one of those is when iPods came out.
Yeah.
And then like there were other things that were better. And you
but
get
they were iPods.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, let me see your iPod. It's an MP3 player.
No, it's just like when you were a kid. Oh, you guys having fun on your Nintendo? You playing that Mario? That
dude.
Mario? You know?
Dude, my homie Mike Hartman was a Marine, and he's just a mouthy, skinny little redhead guy. He's awesome, but he's the mouthiest guy I know, right? And me and his cousin, Justin, you met Justin.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jay Brown. We'd be sitting there like playing like video games and stuff, and he'd walk in holding a beer, like, fucking homos done playing Sega or what? It's like 2018. Fucking homos done playing Sega. Come on, let's fucking go.
He just doubled down.
Dude, every time fucking, because it's like, it's fucking whatever. But no, what I was saying is like, I've lived in a bunch of beer areas, and this one's really cool because there's no allegiance. Mm-hmm. Like, I have, like, usually it's like there's one brewery in town, and that's the one you go to, or there's like 2, and you had a friend that worked at one, and you sport their stickers, and that's the one you go to, right? I got friends, like a couple friends work at Bias. I got friends that have worked at Brass Tap. Like, I mean, it's not a brewery, but it's a brew house, but like all over. I got a friend right now that like hopefully we can get on the podcast eventually. CJ, head brewer at Backslope. Like, there's good beer, good breweries everywhere, and it's just like, let's enjoy all of them. Like Bonsai. I love the idea of Bonsai.
Yeah. No, Bonsai is cool because they get arty with their stuff, kind of artsy with, different flavor profiles and stuff like that. But that's kind of what's cool about that scenario that you're talking about, where there is so many in this area.
Yeah.
That lends itself to, you really want to kind of up your creativity. So you're doing something that's a little bit different than the place that's literally 2 blocks down from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, dude, I remember literally I was hanging out with CJ and like all the beers were good. So my palate's weird, but like he came out with some testers of some stuff he was working on. It was like, try this. And it was stuff like, I love beer. Like I really love beer.
Yeah.
There was stuff I had never fucking heard of, dude. Like different kinds of beer, like deep red, like a bunch of stuff. And I was texting you while I was drinking them all, and I was getting ready to leave, and he had just given me one that was so polar opposite of the other one that the beer I had in my hand, the Crooked Wind, that's what I had when he walked up. I went to go take a sip of it, and it tastes like hot dog water.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm like, he killed my palate with all these, like, dude, that guy is really good.
I'm going to circle back to that in a second, but this is actually, that's a good idea. That just gave me an idea. We should start doing that. Maybe I'll take either this recorder or take a recorder with us, go sit down and have a flight once a week or once every other week or something like that.
So, dude, hey, we'll do it once every 2 weeks on the weekend. I'll have Jack.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I can easily make that happen.
Especially if you guys would listen to something like that, because I mean, conversations get flowing.
Call it Beer Boys. So we'll just do like little side episodes or something like that.
Throw it at the end, whatever. Yeah, figure something out, and I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
it's a good excuse to drink beer.
I know. So you're really enabling these alcoholic tendencies.
We're doing good. I think we've dialed it back.
I'm out here doing God's work.
Yeah. We're basically youth pastors at this point,
Okay, so I want to ask you that question. It's burning a hole in me right now.
Okay.
So we were talking about this thing, like, if you have never been on a podcast, which most people haven't, like, there's a thing called dead space, and it's what you avoid. And like we learned, if you ever listen to the early episodes, for the first at least 10 of Strange Range, we were figuring this thing out. Chase had a leg up. He had radio time, but not me. I'd not really. I'd spent time behind a camera and behind the editing screen, but not too much in front of it. You got to learn how to talk. There's a way, like you have to. Even at certain times, I'll space out my sentences, because I know we're about to get to a point where I can see in your eyes you don't know what to say yet.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of I'll hit the windy conversation thing. It's like he's getting his answer ready, and but oh fuck, I was going somewhere with that. Even like right now. Oh, so a way to eat up that space I was talking about, like we get like a little fish bowl in the center of the table and have just like, like I don't want to see what he puts in there. I don't want him to see what I put in there, but little just random like idea, not things that spark ideas for conversation. So the first one I came up with was, okay, if there was a movie about you, who would you pick to play you?
Yeah, I'm still digesting this a little bit, and I know you got yours in the hopper.
I got mine.
I think I'm just about there, but I'm gonna. Yeah, why don't you go first?
Matthew Lillard.
Okay. Oh yeah, all right. I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah.
Huh. That's a pretty good answer.
You know what?
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's because of the impact and the exact perfect timing of my life when SLC Punk came in.
Yeah, that was what my mind went to immediately.
Mm-hmm. Also, I had seen 13 Ghosts a million times before that.
Yeah, fantastic in both of those films.
Yes, because I didn't see SLC Punk when it first came out. That was a VHS pulled out of a sock drawer from a homie that I fucking got a chance to watch.
Hell yeah.
Changed my life. I mean, literally, it was... I'm such a movie nerd that like that was one of the first times I can remember really watching a movie and being like, this is art. And I can tell you why. We can talk about sound. We can talk about the way it's shot. We can talk about the transitions, the editing, and just the acting. I mean, it has multiple genres in it. It has comedic parts of it. It's really smart. They break the fourth wall. And then the pure drama at the end with the Matthew Lillard scene when Bob dies. And he's crying and spitting all over himself. Like, I mean, it is just a masterpiece. And like, plus the theme of it, the music. That's when I first started really getting into punk rock. I was, excuse me, I think I was like 11. I think I was 11, and I went to my first show at 12.
Okay.
And my mom is very awesome and sweet and naive. And my dad is very forward and alpha and redneck. And my dad was like, are you serious? You're letting him go? And she's like, they're going to play music. It's local. It's in a small room. It's like, and there's probably going to be 30 people. And he's like, it's a punk rock show. And she's like, yeah, that's the theme of the music. He goes, it's the theme of everything.
Right.
And but she would let me go. And so that just hit me at the right time, I was moving around a lot, getting bumped from family member to family member at the same time. So it was like the angsty time, the testosterone started really pumping, and just his acting. I mean, absolutely amazing.
In everything.
And I think that we look similar in certain ways, at least with my self-image. He's a skinnier, strung out guy. He's flamboyant, but he's not weird. He's weird, like the way he's loud.
Yeah.
But he can be serious.
Yep.
I just my self-image and me ties in with that. And I'm like, that it's not, I don't think that's the guy I would pick to be me. But if I was watching the movie, that's who I'd want to play me.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
That's a weird way of putting it, but
that's plus, dude. Yeah. Everything that guy's in is fucking incredible. So it would at least be well done.
I think that the characters he's played, there's personalities that are,
It's almost like he takes roles that he's interested in more so than just taking what he's cast in.
I just see similarities in my personality to certain characters he's played.
Yep.
I mean, even in Scream, not that I'm a serial killer,
but the way he plays,
but even the way he acts, just his little characteristics and stuff. I connect with that. I think that kind of looks the way I see myself.
Yeah.
So that was my choice.
So I don't know if I have that well put together of an answer.
By the way, just real quick, I spend at least 10 hours a day with headphones in, swinging a hammer. Mm-hmm. I have time to think.
That's immediately as
Emilio.
So Emilio Estevez. So I was thinking, kind of a Billy the Kid type. You know what I mean? If I really had to place myself in history, that's probably where I'd be. You know what I mean?
I love Young Guns so much. All right, go on.
But immediately I wanted to say the guy that played Val in Brink as a joke. But also I could kind of see that,
dude. I could see that. Dude, if they made Val blonde, I could see that, dude.
Yep.
Well, first of all, Val's an asshole. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way,
he's a piece of shit.
It's weird that I watch Brink every 2 months.
Nothing wrong with that.
Disney got at me,
nothing
dude.
wrong with that.
And then Johnny Tsunami every month in between.
I don't think that guy could play me.
Dude, no. I don't think he'd play it. I think it'd be very progressive.
Lost another one to adversity.
No, what's funny is you remember his name too. But Val, the long hair, yeah.
That was more of a joke. I think realistically,
that's what I want to hear. Because like I said, you can tell a lot from your answer.
So I think I've got. There would still be two. Kind of one's a little bit more mainstream than the other. Immediately, Emilio. I need to quit with that one. So I watched The Northman this weekend. We can circle back to that. But I think Alexander Skarsgård would just nail it. You know what I'm saying?
Was it good?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Okay, all right. That's all. We'll get back to it.
You'll get a different answer from Colton because that guy is a fucking dork. All right, I said it.
All right, listen, baby girl. All right,
but it was fantastic. Cinematography was.
It's A24. Dude. Anything they do is just shot beautifully.
Incredible.
There's always a gradient layer, a color scheme picked, everything.
Yeah.
And how was historically, did it feel?
That's where things were a little bit touch and go, but I think for a very Hollywood production, they did as well as they were going to.
I looked at it as if it was going to be the Norse version of The Witch. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying it was going to be witches, but they had Salem,
yeah,
and that was the witch, and so I was like, they were going to carry some of that idea, that vibe, that drive.
I think the vibe was
to a Norse story.
Yeah,
well, it's also
Let's get back. I could talk,
sorry,
dude. It's so fucking good.
If you give me, I swear to God, dude, I will throw these tiny little fists over this table.
We'll bring it back as much as we can, since you haven't seen it. We don't want to spoil too much, but we'll bring it back because it's worth talking about. But yeah, Skarsgård, I would be
That's
flattered.
The main guy.
I would be fucking flattered.
The main guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's got the same nose, and the hair and the
Weird.
beard.
It's like you're from the same place.
Actually, that's why. So a lot of times they don't.
That's why.
A lot of times they end up casting for anybody. There's been plenty of Korean guys playing Chinese guys, and Italians playing. You know what I mean? But most of the time, you don't get a lot of. Yeah, so you don't. It just doesn't get. It's not accurate very often.
Norwegians.
But to have somebody with some pedigree to be playing the right role, I think it was cool.
God damn. Okay, we gotta get off this. I'm already like.
And if not that guy, and this is a deep cut. This is a deep cut, but it would be if you've watched The Wild Hunt, which. I don't think you have. I think we've had this conversation. Somebody out there has seen The Wild Hunt. It was a 2009 kind of B movie out of Canada or Iceland. Anyway.
When you say Iceland, really I automatically think of the black sweater wearing team from Mighty Ducks. Instantly, dude, I just felt like the Coach Wolf, like popped in my head. All right, go ahead.
The lead actor in that movie, he played a character named Bjorn. Mark Krupa.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Mark Krupa, I think, would be actually a pretty good actor to play me. So that's what I got.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go cocky real quick.
Okay.
I think that personality, not looks. Again, it's a big name. I think Depp could play me.
Okay.
As a.
I'm not mad at that. Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely lightened his hair, cut it short, slicked it back. Yeah. Like I think he could play a version of. Add a fingertip, yeah. Shit on his bed.
Sorry, bud. I feel it for you.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck that bitch.
This guy. Yeah. I could see him playing a young him, like a Crybaby era. Yeah. Playing a version of me. Speaking of which, this guy's name is. We both know him, and god damn it, it was an error. I always forget his name. Okay, I'm just gonna. My ADHD brain works this way. I'm gonna rapid fire movies he's in. Right. He was the later on found out brother in fucking motherfucker. Okay, he was in Cuffs as the main character.
Give me another.
He was in fucking Robin Hood with
Did he play Robin Hood?
No, the brother.
Okay.
You found out Jack, he had the two knives.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about now?
Yeah.
He was in Heathers as the crazy one. Mm-hmm. Christian Slater.
Okay, yeah.
Christian Slater,
yep.
boom.
Yep.
I could see a Christian Slater playing me.
I could see that.
He always has the same hair but longer. If he cut it shorter and didn't always look at the fucking camera.
Okay, you can have Johnny Depp, or Christian Slater.
I told you I was going there.
That's fine.
Okay,
we can do that.
I was going to say we had trust.
Why would we not cast somebody more attractive than ourselves in people, in our movie?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do that.
All right.
It's Hollywood.
Okay.
Hollywood.
And then like an older version of me could be Daniel Craig. Oh, by the way, hey.
Fine. An older version of me is Idris Elba.
All right, hold on. No, now I gotta pick one with a bigger dick. Hold on.
All right. Okay.
You don't get Roland the Gunslinger. Worst movie ever, but he still played Roland. And I know what you fucking did there because I'm a Stephen King nerd too, you asshole. He just, by the way, literally, we're so into books that what you didn't know there is he made a black joke, and that was
to the shit, dude.
That was the daisy chain. That was the secondary. What he did is he took Roland the Gunslinger away from me, which is the fucking character that I love dearly, and I'm talking about getting a tattoo about.
I'm on a different level of the tower, bro.
That's not how. That's not how it works.
All right, hold on. For real though, we need to talk about robots.
Which ones?
We need to talk about the like inevitable takeover of robots of our planet.
Well,
AI is getting weird, bro.
There's some. So we'll start at what's grounded first. So like I've mentioned it a couple of times on the podcast. No, we're staying in the same realm.
Okay.
So we're in AI robot kind of stuff. So with drones right now, Elon Musk was on TV and they were like,
Neuralink.
Can you? No, not even that. The person asked him, what would it take to have AI kill someone or something like that? Like, what is that realistic? He goes, well, you don't need to go into the future for that. And they go, what do you mean? He goes, well, you could make a swarm of assassin drones right now with no new technology. He goes, you just buy drones off the shelf at any store like Walmart, and then you take an iPhone 4 and like it was the first one to have like the retinal scanner, like the first one had the retinal scanner, like the 6 maybe. He goes, you just get one of those for super cheap. You pull the chip out of it, and then you program an eye into it, and then you put that into the drone, and you put a small charge on it. And then all you do is you make it ram. It just flies around till it scans the right person, and it rams into him and kills him. He literally said, like, that takes no new technology. You can do it today for cheap. Now, this is the part I've mentioned before on the podcast. Because of my military stuff, like, I've been following certain people on Instagram, personal accounts, probably the last 9 years. These people are veterans that fought in the same war I did and other ones. And then they went home, got out of the military, and then other conflicts happened. And they were like, fuck that. I believe these people that are getting fucked up need help. And they smuggled themselves into that country and volunteered. So one of them, Chase knows about, there's a guy, Peshmerganwe. That guy is actually Swedish. But Peshmerganwe is a Pesh or Kurdish name, and he went home from Sweden after fighting in Afghanistan and said, like, it's well known that the Pesh or the Kurdish have had atrocities happen to them. They don't technically have borders around their country. They're actually a floating country because they were tiny and all the other countries around them are so large, they just get murdered all the time. But they hold this little area and they say this is technically where the border should be, even though it's not even on the maps really.
Right.
And so, like, but they're actually badasses because when the U.S. went into Iraq, Special Forces was going in and they went right to the Kurds and was like, you want payback? Because Saddam Hussein, before Desert Storm happened, right beforehand, and they actually show a picture of it in the movie Jarhead when they first get there, and he's like, we got to stop this shit day before yesterday. They gassed him. Saddam Hussein gassed him. I mean, like, he messed up 2 generations of families with, like, birth defects.
Jesus.
So, like, we went to them and we're like, the Special Forces are going in. We need people that have been there that want to fight. And they took the Kurds signed up and they were trained as Special Forces and fought that war. So Peshmerganwe, when he got out, like, found out that, like, ISIS had moved back into Iraq. The U.S. was out and ISIS instantly went right after the Kurds, just like they always do. So he went in there and fought for like 3 years next to him. And I told him about the book. I actually got it. He made a book finally. He's home. His family finally said, like, you're not going back. Like, he was there fighting for like 4 years, buying his own bullets.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Buying his own bullets. Yeah. So, but I have these Instagram accounts. Another one, I'm not going to say his because he's active right now, but I followed him in the Ukrainian stuff like 4 years ago, and he just went back. What sucks because I watched him actually go through all of it. This is all firsthand stuff posted. And then he went home and had a great life for himself. Great life. And this happened again. And he went right back. And he's teaching EOD right now. He's self-taught EOD. He literally was posting on Instagram like, no one can handle these bombs out here. I'm volunteering to do it as a foreigner. Like, somebody sent me something. People sent him books. EOD, like retired EOD guys sent him books that they had left. Guys sent him, he asked for Gerbers, multi-tools. And guys sent him multi-tools. And he was using them to disarm bombs, learning as he goes. And he's back there now. And so on his page, so moving from the Elon Musk drone swarm, right? Mm-hmm. He said, like, you could do this today. Mm-hmm. He just posted the other day that he was disarming UXO. UXO is unexploded ordnance. It's a weird side effect of war that people don't think about. It happens all the time. You launch 30 things. Let's just say 25 blow up. Mm-hmm. Think about shipping, storage, how old they are, all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Well, those things are armed and in the ground, and anything could set them off. So EOD also has to go find those UXO. And so he posts the stuff he finds because on the news, they will say that the Russians are not using these certain munitions against people. This is kind of leaning into why I was saying I have these people I still follow. It's because I get to see what they're seeing because they're there. Yeah. And some of these guys aren't, like, they don't take any more followers. And so, like...
And that's a whole other thing right now. This is one of the first, like... This is one of the first, like, massively broadcasted battles that we've ever seen.
Like, Afghanistan definitely was, but at the same time, this is a different level.
Yeah. I mean, we've all seen pictures and handheld cam video that people brought back.
Oh yeah.
But like we're live streaming this shit right now.
Oh yeah, dude.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's wild. It's happening in a country where everybody has access to technology.
That's a first world country that's being invaded.
Yeah.
It's a first world country. By the way, I just want to say real quick, like, I know, like I said, yeah, I was in the military and stuff, but like, don't get me twisted. This is 2022. Don't fucking invade people.
Yeah.
The lines are set. If at anything you can give someone something, we ain't taking shit no more. All right? We're not fucking cavemen. Knock that shit off.
Yeah. It's okay to evolve.
I'm not going to get super political, but like, we're done with that.
Yep.
Like, that's fucking stupid. But anyway, so my point is he posted something the other day, and it was a UXO, so unexploded, drone. And it is a compression suicide bomb drone. So it was a small drone that you fly around like normal. But what they do is they put a charge in the nose cone of it, and they make the nose cone made of a squishy material.
Okay.
And so they literally just like fly around till they see the target, and you just drive into it. And what happens is you have your igniter in the front of the nose cone, and when it hits, it squishes and pushes that igniter into the charge, and it blows up. So, and they make them out of cheap material, but he found one. So the Russians are using literally the most simplest of stuff you can make off the shelf that Elon was talking about. Like, that's happening.
Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts. And then, and that's... I was watching America's Got Talent the other day, and there was a team of people that programmed, 100 drones to make fucking fireworks in the sky. You know
I
what
saw
mean?
Spider-Man knock it off.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
dude,
look, that's so like...
look, this is the most awesome time to be alive.
Spider-Man today, too.
Did you watch it? Okay,
Finally,
okay,
yeah.
And okay. I'm sorry, listeners aside, dude. So like the Amazing Spider-Man was the harder one, the worst living Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Did you really feel that?
Yeah,
dude. If you haven't seen the new Spider-Man, they didn't market it this way, the Amazing Spider-Man, because it was the first time they switched the name. Mm-hmm. That is a different type of Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. They didn't say it. They made it look, if you weren't a comic book fan. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying excuse me anymore. If you saw that, you would automatically think that like, oh, they just used one of his other names. Mm-hmm. That is actually
because comic book fans know differently. Because I mean, there was different. Like that's how you differentiated between different storylines, different timelines, different universes. Yeah. You've got the Incredible Spider-Man. You've got the Amazing Spider-Man.
Different lives.
There are references to Superior Spider-Man in that film that are so fucking good.
This is one thing that he's been talking about for a while.
There's the fight scene, the first time, and like I'm sure there's still people that haven't seen this film, so I'm not going to get too far into it. But the first time that there's a instance between a Spider-Man and Doc Ock in this film, and Spider-Man's using those arms, in the Superior Spider-Man comic book line, man, we just took a really far departure from what we were talking about. We'll get back to AI
if
here. If
you're still listening, like you're used to it.
this shows
the long termers get it.
Yeah, it's officially the ADHD fuckfest. So it's just the way it's gonna go.
Suck it, Ruben.
But fucking Doc Ock, when he became Spider-Man in that comic book arc, made those arms. Those were the Superior Spider-Man's arms because Doc Ock was used to having those.
That's a good idea.
So that was a straight reference. The fact that Peter Parker was using those arms that Doc Ock created in another universe to fight Doc Ock it gave me a boner.
I'm not going to go into it. I promise. Because every time we get into this, I say the same thing. Yeah. It's the one time in all of my fandom of movie and TV and all that stuff. I've seen so much. This is the first time where we are not just being like spoon-fed shit, like eat this and like it. Like this is stuff for the fans. Yeah. And like this is the thing. If you're like a surface level fan, you'll get surface level stuff. A medium fan, you get medium. The more you learn and rewatch the stuff that's coming out now, there's more and more cool shit just for the fans. It's the juiciest time to be into this shit.
Yep. All right. Let me reroute once more. Okay. Let's finish the fucking. So here's why I brought up. We kind of took a track on that too. Okay. So I wanted to talk about AI.
There was a lot of lead and stuff when we were kids.
Yeah. See asbestos. So AI is a fucking weird thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and this is a concept.
Oh, okay.
All right. Here's where I'm going. You know where I'm going with this. This is a concept that we've been, like hearing about or ingesting in some way or another for a long time. I think the 80s focused pretty heavily on it in a lot of those films. Skynet. I mean,
1984.
all that shit. So Brett texted me earlier this week and said, I've got homework for you before we record. Check out Dudesy. Yeah. And I didn't really understand what he was saying initially, but I'm like, all right, that sounds cool. He's like,
I knew it was going to be too much, and so I was just vague.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking,
Here's
he'll
the
figure
thing.
it out. I know
Here's
you.
the thing.
I know you.
So, because we both like to, we're not promoting another podcast here, but I do enjoy it, and I want to talk about the concept because I'm very interested in it.
And like, even if you're not into like any podcast, but the best one, which is ours, like it's a fucking cool, weird thing. Like this is the future is fucking now. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
So, Dudesy, I'm sure some of you have listened to this show at this point, but if you haven't, here's a quick rundown. Basically, Will Sasso and I can't remember his co-host's name. Anyway, they're doing a podcast called Dudesy where they are not coming up with the content. That is what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. They have apparently partnered with this AI tech firm. They've got this AI that goes by Dudesy. That's what it's called. That has access to all of their personal information.
This is the crazy part.
It's nuts, dude.
They signed off everything. So this program was allowed to go through like every
text
search,
messages, all of their
emails,
Google searches, Pornhub history.
Yep.
I mean, Gmail, all everything, all that shit. Purchase history, Amazon shopping carts.
It will or will not bring up certain topics based on which podcast and like. It has actually listened to every podcast minute that Will Sasso has ever spoken on.
And he's been on multiple shows. So he's got all that information.
Years. Mm-hmm. It's listened to every word he's ever said.
Not to mention film, TV.
Dude.
I mean, he's been in a lot of shit, you know.
Mm-hmm. And it's in the algorithm.
So if you can run a Google search on it, this AI has access to that information. Mm-hmm. Weird concept. If it is, in fact, what's actually happening.
That was one thing I worried about, and I'm really trying to push that in my head because the skeptic in me is
so let's talk about
they
that
could take it.
Okay, let's talk about that too. So I kind of immediately got that feeling a little bit because of some timing. Let me back up one more time. So this AI is also, I mean, it is the show, right? So you can think of it as the producer and the writer of this show. Mm-hmm. It's creating all of the content, suggesting them what content to talk about, and then it's also doing all of the editing, and it's in fact uploading these shows to whatever server they're going with.
Yeah.
The fact that it's doing the editing, like that gave me a lot to think about. That's some crazy shit. And I mean, you can program anything to kind of truncate silences and things like that, you know.
That was not too far-fetched.
No, I mean, it's not. It's all very plausible. That's why it's interesting.
Yeah.
Especially at this point, because we know, we've all seen those memes where you get like, I ran every season of The Office through this AI program and he wrote an episode. This is what it said. You've read those, right?
Yeah.
I think we've all read something like that. And they never make exact sense, but there's, it's nonsensical and funny, and there's plenty of kind of nuanced information in those because you're bringing all that information in. All that being said,
cheers, buddy.
Cheers. It's super fucking interesting, dude. Yeah. So not only does it gives them concepts like, for instance, it came up with a segment where Will read news. I think it was news headlines in Hulk Hogan's voice, and they called it.
His Hogan is so good.
And so the AI is like, we're gonna call this segment Infomania. I'm like, that's funny. All right,
yeah. Infowars, crazy voice, and his Alex Jones is real close to his Hogan.
And he like, you could totally put him on SNL and play Alex Jones, 100%.
By the way, hey, just real quick, Will Sasso's a gem. Mm-hmm. That is an overlooked person that's done a lot of work, and he is so funny. Mm-hmm. Dude, remember him in first of all of Mad TV. Mm-hmm. Moving on. By the way, he was in so many big movies that like people don't realize. He was in Happy Gilmore. Mm-hmm. Do you remember what character he played?
No.
He was one of the moving guys in the beginning that was moving.
Oh, no shit.
He was the guy who was like, you think you can do better?
No shit.
Yeah, that's him.
That's funny.
Yep. You just hit that lady.
He's one. Yeah.
She should have moved.
That's fucking awesome.
Dude, Super Trooper 2?
Yeah. Dude, he literally he's one of those guys.
His accents
another guy I was trying to think of this like that. But yeah.
Amazing.
He did a ton of cool support roles. So I got to thinking about this concept though. If this is indeed a real thing, if it's an actual AI that's running all of this shit, because it could be faked and it would still be funny. That's a funny joke.
They can easily get away with it.
But if it's not, and it probably isn't, because like I said, it's super plausible. I mean, that's that technology exists, especially if it's been refined to do exactly that job. Why not? It's got all the information. I wonder when that kind of, there's got to be a reason that AI firm exists in the first place. I wonder when we're going to start seeing a Netflix partnering with an AI program like that, and that AI's job is to come up with not trailers. The first episode of a TV show.
A
pilot, motherfuck, fucking beers and the weeds is.
Tis Sunday. You know what honestly just happened though is we finally got summer sunlight.
Yeah,
we had warmth and summer sunlight, dude. Like
I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt right now. It's fantastic.
Dude, 100%, dude. I wore a crop top yesterday.
Fuck yeah,
very well, actually.
Very well.
No, dude, and like not, I'll come back, but like literally like the first day of good sunlight we had, I hopped in my truck, went down. I was like, look, my brother just moved in. Actually, we're recording in the kitchen, the living room again, like we used to before. My brother moved back in, so he's in the podcast room for now that he finds a new place. So we're still grilling this thing. I went to go get like caffeine or something like that and come back, and the sun was out. I came back and I was like, it's gonna be a good day. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I feel so instantly happy. We go through so much time with no sunlight, none of that stuff. Do you know Montana is 4th in the world for suicide rate?
Yeah, behind, was it Juneau, Alaska?
Yep.
Oregon, Seattle, probably.
Something like that. Yeah. Instantly, I feel amazing. I'm just like, I'm going to conquer the fucking world for 4 months.
Yeah, it's fucking... Dude, it really... I mean, it's a 100% instant mind changer. It's crazy.
Yeah, it completely changes everything. Anyway.
But yeah, so back to AI. So we see, recently, especially on Netflix, they're constantly starting new original Netflix shows, and then even if they have good response, they cancel them after a season because they're like, oh, we're looking for this specific thing.
It's digestible content.
Why would you not? Especially a company like Netflix, they've got so much money. Okay, well here's this concept. Yeah, well, yeah, we'll see what happens there.
$20 a month, you kiss my ass.
Fuck that. But you have this AI program write you a pilot. Cast it, throw $5 million at it, see what one episode does, and then you're not investing in a writing team and all this shit. You just have to have someone take that script, check it over, pass it, go find some actors for it real quick.
Yeah.
Just keep churning this shit out. I feel like that's eventually what we're going to be. That's what they're going to try and force feed us. There's always going to be those independent companies that are going to put out old school entertainment, but it kind of seems like that's where we're going.
I use this all the time and way too much. The pendulum always swings from one side to the other. It's not in the middle. It's one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
And so like we had cable TV.
Yeah.
And then we got Netflix, and it was a slow burn at first. Like we had the like you can order a DVD online.
Yeah.
Bitch, like I'm gonna find out what happens in the week and a half it takes for that disc to get here that the fucking mailman who's high as shit is gonna lose.
Yeah.
But eventually, I think it was like I had gotten back from deployment, and within like 2 weeks I was Netflixing like a sumbitch. That was the first time. So that would have been like,
that's a weird thought,
November 2011. That's when I came back out of nowhere, and out of nowhere I had Netflix because I watched like a show or two once in transit. But I got back to the States, was in my room, and like I was just happy to not be doing shit.
Yeah.
And I was drinking a lot of beer, but watching Trailer Park Boys. That's how I found Trailer Park Boys the exact same time.
Hell yeah.
That was the very first show I streamed all the way through season after season. And I was like, you can just fucking do this? It was paradigm shift, right? Well, but that is swinging back the other way into the corporate money, cost too much. They're cracking down on people sharing passwords, all that shit. And then people are going to drop off, and
they'll have to figure it out.
We've seen it another way with Disney, the weekly episode drops. We used to get just full series drops. Then we got season drops. And then now we're getting weekly episodes again, and we're loving it. Like, it sucks to wait, but it makes it way
It's
way
nice
better.
because it does kind of harken back to what we're
But
used to.
we said those words you just said when we got full seasons for the first time in our entire life.
Yeah, that's true.
The very first time we were able to binge, we said the exact same words you did. So now we're
just
talking
used to the one thing.
swing, two swing. What's next?
Yeah, that's true. Well, of course, it's always going to go somewhere else.
Obi-Wan's
But I
getting 2 on the
guarantee-
first day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. I'm happy, but at the same time, it's like...
That's not that... didn't we get 2
No.
for Boba?
No.
Are you sure? I thought we got 2 for Boba.
I'm fucking certain, bruh.
All right.
My bad for being aggressive right there. I'm
Fuck, man. Obi's coming, though. It's coming.
Dude.
It's fucking coming.
By the way, all you out there, I'm so sorry, and I apologize ahead of time of the amount of Star Wars content you're going to get coming soon.
I'm not sorry.
Also, you know what comes the same day?
No. What comes the same day?
Stranger Things.
On the same day?
Yeah.
They're going to postpone it again.
Whatever.
Like, we got to push it back
great.
a week.
I watched the last trailer.
Fucking better. They've had 3 years.
I know, but they
It
not
better
that it
be
wouldn't have been
really,
too,
really good.
Not that it would have been too hard. They filled that gap.
Yeah.
They filled the gap fine. They're in high school now.
Yeah.
They moved them away from the area so they were safe. And then you get to, like, we've already seen clips of the trials and tribulations of the fucking sheriff who's been going through years of
At least
fighting.
we get it, and they didn't just cancel it. Because had this happened 10 years ago, and everything was still on cable.
Yeah.
No
You can't do that
fucking
shit.
way that would have happened.
Which is, like I said, for a guy who loves movies and good TV. Mm-hmm. Hold on. You ever notice that TV is kind of like beer? You have beer and you'll watch it and you'll enjoy it and you'll have a good time. And that was a good night.
And then you gotta have 6 of them.
You gotta have 6. Yeah. You gotta have 6 and you feel accomplished. And then you got them fucking 3 episode long fucking dank ass deep fuckers you watch at 3 in the morning. It's like beer.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. Huh.
I'm drinking beer right now, so that's why it's happening. But shout out to Kalispell Brewing for adding. Oh shit, these are 7.3s.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad I had the one. That was really nice. That was pretty tasty. That was pretty fucking tasty. We'll hit you guys up and come record at one of your tables or something.
Yeah, I definitely want to stick to what the ideas we've thrown out with guerrilla podcasting. Yeah, so we're gonna. I think a lot of the outdoor podcasting we've been talking about doing is gonna happen. Some, you know what? Screw. We'll give you some organic sounds, dude. You'll get some podcasts from the riverbank.
I'm into that. I think that's gonna be dope.
I think a nice crackling fire.
We're gonna
next
do
to
one
us.
from my fucking boat. We're gonna figure that out. I want to do it. It's gonna be chaotic and fantastic. We don't even have to use this recorder. We can make it work.
Let's shut the fuck up, dude. Like, yeah, we do to have a good one. We're too perfectionist right now at this point. We've gotten so much. By the way,
We can just. We don't even have to.
way better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
had
we're so
Joe,
good.
by the way, I was so proud for a little bit. By the way, not a big money flex, but it's a podcast dork flex. I got Joe Rogan's fucking mic arm right
He
now.
changed it though. He's got a new mic arm now.
Okay, I'm getting there, you dick. I'm fucking getting
All
there.
right, I'll bleep that.
All right. No, don't bleep it. We live here. All right. Fucking stay in the zone. I got a Gator Frameworks fucking badass arm, right? Because, like I said, if you haven't, dude, segue back to where we were before. Fucking, if you don't know that, like, there's just a lot of very small details of podcasts. Because just like we thought at the beginning, you just show up with microphones and kill it. And the reality is, you got to fine tune stuff.
Turns out, especially at that time, it took us like 45 minutes just to get everything fucking going, and lots of fine tuning has led us to hit a button.
Yeah. One thing was microphone arms. No one
Sin.
knows. You're famous, right? Yeah, for my sins. Microphone arms, right? So, like, I got fucking people that listen to this podcast that are in bands and stuff, and they know, like, actually, fuck it. It can't be that relevant. Like, microphone stands, like, there's good ones, there's bad ones, but, like, you're not getting a bunch of sound. The regular ones you see that just had the arms with the long spring, you bump that thing with your arm one time. We drink beer at this shit,
Yeah, it's
right?
like you threw a fucking rock down one of those enclosed slides at the park.
Oh my god! Dude, it sounds like a leaf spring letting off tension.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like shit, right? By the way,
This is great.
I know,
this is great content.
Yeah, dude, I know, right? You know what really grinds my gears about shit you don't care about? Dude, does this get you when you watch a YouTube podcast and you see them use equipment that's so fucking subpar, and it's like, you're putting your producer through the goddamn ringer. I see professional podcasts with those $20 arms, and I'm like, and I see him bumping it and stuff, but I don't hear it, and I'm like, dude, you're giving that guy so much fucking work.
Yeah,
you
there's
cheap fucker.
There's a lot of things that bother me about some celebrities that podcast.
Look at him come crawling back, you cheap son of a bitch. There you go, Dylan.
There's a lot of shows, especially from people that are very well known. There's there's no reason that you need to be using this platform. You know, you're doing the whole microphone in frame thing just for show.
Yeah.
All the time.
Dude, there are certain podcasts I watch now. And I might get into this subject, I might not, because we don't like to promote other podcasts. And not to be salty, just like, I mean, it's doggy dog out in this bitch. But like, there is a couple of podcasts that I've noticed that I watch their heads move away from the microphone.
And there's no difference because they're wearing a lapel.
There's no sound in voice. And then out of nowhere, it comes back like this.
And then
and the sound doesn't change, right? Now, look, hey, I'm just a lowly roof builder from, that lives in Montana.
Yeah.
What do I know?
Yeah.
But I know that shit. Right? So I'm going to...
ain't even on, bitch.
Fuck, I'm going to get on it. Fuck these guys. They ain't even going to know us. Okay, so... There is this thing. So I listened to all the Brandon Shaw podcasts in the beginning, right? I'm a big MMA fan. The guy is kind of a bro, but he's nostalgic. He talks about dorky kid stuff too. And I was into it. It was funny for a while. Fighting the Kid. When Cat started, King the Sting, I instantly was like, that's a money grab.
Yeah.
All right, even the name, King and the Sting. They were talking shit to each other on a podcast. Brendan's not smart. They were talking shit to each other. Theo is an autistic.
I think both of us watch this show.
Yeah.
It's not this... But yeah.
This isn't a guy being salty because my podcast is small. I love my podcast, motherfucker. But no, this is something I've noticed. And so, like, when they did King the Sting, literally they named it after like a little shit talking session they had. And Theo destroys him. Theo is the autistic magician of comedy. He literally, his Rain Man card counting thing is stories and comedy. He is absolutely a gem. Like... he's one of those guys where you hear him and you go, he might pass away young and blow up. That's the guy.
Unfortunately, that sounds just so possible.
And the thing is the reason he said that is listen to Theo's podcast. Theo deals with a lot of mental health issues, and me and Chase feel the same way. Like we're like super supportive of mental health awareness and shit like that. Like
we're crazy people too.
We're crazy we're strange as fuck. But
and you can't say that. That's my word.
That's my word. Okay. My doctor said so. Who I keep bugging at 3 a.m. No.
Just let that one breathe.
Let that one breathe for a second. I don't know where the fuck I was going with that. Okay. So Brennan Schaub. So I finally just got real tired of him because I've noticed he's fucking mean to people. He'll talk about how he hates bullies and he loves all this shit and and then someone will say something he doesn't agree with and he caveman bullies them on the podcast. There's been a bunch of times where he fuck stuff. I get it. He's got CTE and a lot of people
also has fucking human.
But a lot of people let that. I let that slide because I got homies that got fucking human. TBI. I get that shit. But then I'm a YouTube guy, so it's funny. My brother who moved in. He's 22. He always mentions dude, no one watches YouTube that I know like you do. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, that's your news. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, that's
generational.
He's like, that's how you keep up on the subjects and hobbies you like. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you know more than me because of that shit. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, I don't get it. It's the weird separation. When I hop on YouTube, it is tailored to what I want, and half of it is history where I learn new things. It's all the way down to like famous executions and shit. Then I have jujitsu, a lot of jujitsu, skateboarding videos, the more fly fishing that I actually watch, hunting videos, and then podcasts.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
Basically, same. And that's actually interesting to hear from Tyler.
I started a 2-hour video on the Epic of Gilgamesh last night.
Yeah.
Tyler was like, I'm going to bed. I'm like, me too. I laid on my couch and partaked, and then literally was watching a exact reading of the Epic of Gilgamesh. And after a while, I was like, you gotta go fucking bed, dude. Like, like this is. I'm a fucking history nerd. I was in college and I was going to be a history teacher. And then coming straight out of the military and guys younger than me, and I went to college and saw all the whiny people and was like, oh, I don't have the patience for this. I'm not going to put somebody else's kids through like, yeah, you're doing fucking 15 fucking burpees and then you can come back in here and tell me about Caesar. So I backed out. But I love history.
Smoking the reefer.
Smoking the reefer. You boys like Mexico?
I swear to God, I had a fucking place to go after that.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, fuck, man. I just lost mine too.
We're doing the Sunday Fun Day thing right now. It's good shit. It's good shit.
We're gonna catch some different days of the week where we're not just getting ready to start the next.
But you know,
it is nice though, dude. Like so like I was just talking. So like I'm being that weird like new guy at the gym creep towards Chase, being like, I know what your days off are, so you can come in on this day and do kickboxing, or you can do jiu-jitsu on this day. But like this is the one thing, and anybody that works out, this is a super relative thing. If you work out, if you rock climb, if you do, guys that really like to only fish on their own raft. Mm-hmm. Like it takes a lot of work to get you there. You do the thing, and then you're done. And then afterwards, it's like if you don't do anything for the rest of the weekend, like you've accomplished this cool thing. You feel accomplished. You're in a good mood. The podcast is definitely like that for me. I like doing it on other day, like earlier in the week because I have more energy. You know, like what you're hearing is synthetic hops and energy. But it's nice because I do my, like my training and shit all the way to Saturday morning. And then I have Saturday night. I just feel great. I can be lazy if I want to. I can go out and do some more shit. And Sundays, like I usually do that as like my catching up on chores, cleaning day. Mm-hmm. But like working a podcast in, for one, it's like, I honestly, compared to what you think of us from the beginning of the podcast era, like I don't drink as much as I used to.
Shit's changed.
Yeah, a lot. I used to drink a couple a day. Like I drink like probably once a week, twice a week, but like on these Sundays, like before like Chase comes over, like I clean the whole house, I get shit going, I'm hanging out with my son, we're doing cool stuff, and then like I get a chance to sit down, crack a beer, do something productive. Like we're building something here. Like if this never makes money but reaches more people, I will absolutely be over the fucking moon.
That being said, thank you to some of our newer followers because we've had a pretty good uptick lately.
Actually, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, appreciate that, and we're on a pretty good track right now to continue making some traction here. So we've got some cool shit coming up. So
yeah, definitely. We everybody knows. One thing when we started this podcast, I was talking to Chase about it. Was like I listened to a lot of podcasts. The last couple of years, a bunch of my jobs, I've worked alone in the woods, and it was just 8 to 10 hours a day, headphones in. I would download as many podcasts as I could at 5 a.m. while working out, living in the woods, and I'd drive into town, clock in, and go out in the woods and work for like 8 hours a day, podcasts all day long. And I super enjoyed it. And I know a lot of people do because, I mean, even like Monday Morning Podcast with Bill Burr, like a lot of people send in questions. I'm always a big fan of fan in participation. I think that's so awesome. If you get to the point where you get to participate with your fans, and weekly you have to pick through like which questions to ask, that is so cool.
Yep.
I would listen to that stuff and it's awesome, but the content can be relatable, but the people can only be so relatable.
Yeah.
Because they live in Los Angeles, which, mind you, like we
there's a lot to that.
We take in so much content that's given us through screens that comes from big cities.
Yeah, and a lot of it is Los Angeles.
Yeah, Los Angeles, New York, places like that. That like we just assume us and other people live in cities. Like you just like assume like what you're seeing is what everybody's living, and it's not.
Some of my heroes are just unrelatable to me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? As far as like comedy heroes.
Yeah.
You don't even really need to name any because everybody knows there's a very different
there's
thing
a line you hit
LA
where you
people.
just stop relating with people.
Yeah.
And I noticed that like especially like The
And
reason
that's not like, because I know there's got to be someone in LA listening to me right now, and that's not what I'm saying. Like, I know that there's people that are living real lives there.
Yeah.
But there are people in entertainment on every level.
I would say, okay, I'd like to put it this way. The majority of stuff we consume is made in this fashion.
Yeah.
It reflects like people who live in cities, like movies and stuff.
Yep.
Like if a movie is in a small town, it is themed as a small town. A movie that doesn't theme, that doesn't it pays attention to the story and not necessarily like where it's set. They just picked a setting that looks good in that movie, like
And a name of a town.
Thrillers.
Yeah.
Thrillers do that a lot.
Yeah.
Wet streets at night, where they literally soak the roads at night. They have moon, like that kind of shit.
Supernatural had an episode that had Whitefish, Montana in it, which
Really?
is right down the street from us, which is like the money area. And people that live here know that that's the money area.
It for sure.
Right.
It's not. It's the only non-local place in Montana.
It's crazy that California's so close, but it's in that episode there is a
Fuck you.
there's
You asshole.
there's the Whitefish consists of a trailer in the middle of this plains area. So
That
it's
is
100%
insane.
wrong. But they just picked a name. They're like, oh, that sounds like a rural area in Montana. Whitefish.
Yeah.
It's got fish in the name.
So-
it's Fish Town.
This is one thing. If you're listening to us, that was the one thing that like before we started that I was like, because all of us were like, we want to do this thing and we had all these things in common, and my mind is like focused on things we don't have in common, and it's like, well, I'm a part of this. This is something maybe I don't know if we don't have in common, but I want to make sure it's heard that when we start this project, this is something that I don't want to move on. And it was being relatable. I don't want to move on that, no matter what. Like, dude, like Chase builds cabinets. Like I build roofs. Like we are regular
Blue
dudes.
collar shit.
So like I was saying before, is like, we had a couple months, no new episodes.
Yeah,
dude. One of our buddies that was on the podcast, like he had a whole life change as he went from being the sole bread earner to switching the other way, and he was taking care of the kids, and that changed his schedule, and then she got another job, and then like also at the same time, like I took on this insanely crazy schedule when I got into mixed martial arts and stuff like that, because like I'm training all the time, and now like I'm helping coach my son's classes, and then my son started school right before that. That was one of the things that slowed it down. My son was not of the age to be quiet in the other room while we were recording, but he was of the age.
We growing up.
Now he's a champ. That's my boy.
Yep.
Shout out to Jack the Ripper.
Hell yeah.
But so like when we take breaks and stuff, dude, that is not like managers arguing.
Yeah.
That's just a bunch of dudes trying to, and also dead of winter, trying to make stuff happen.
Yeah.
I wrecked my truck twice. Like Chase had to like figure a bunch of shit with his.
Yeah.
Smacked a deer. Like, yeah, like we're regular people. I
Schedule
absolutely
changes,
love it.
job changes, all that shit.
Oh yeah. Yep. But now we're back in this groove right now, and dude, I'm like super motivated. I feel like we're in a really healthy direction. We've been able to push content out weekly. I really think that is not going to be a problem right now. Yeah.
Yeah, we back, boy.
Yeah, the future is bright. Got to wear shades.
So hey, I got a challenge to make.
Okay.
Before we do, we'll do suggestions here in a minute and then wrap up. But I got a challenge, and I think we'll let's give this until December. All right, we got some time here.
All right.
I've been flirting around with the idea of writing a 15-minute comedy set. I think we should both do that. Okay. There's not a lot of comedy shows around here. It comes up when it comes up.
I know. And I have a guy we can talk to that does local comedy. As humble as possible, I really think I could do it. I just think that I'm going to battle my anxiety.
That's what
like
it's about.
A fucking ogre.
I'm not comfortable with that shit.
I think
you know what?
The problem is I listen to too many podcasts with comedians. I know that it's a 10-year struggle. I know that you got to fail a lot and you got to be fine with it. And I think like
we're never going to get the opportunity to fail the way that we need to for that. I'm talking about simply as a way to sharpen our own skills and push ourselves outside of our comfort zones, because I think we're both in that same scenario, that same situation.
We're not getting 15 minutes right off the bat. It's 5. It's a solid 5.
Well, I guess I don't know how they run. however they fucking run the slots here. You know what I mean? So yeah,
It's
5.
Any new guy, top
Fantastic.
5.
Fantastic.
So you have a chance for one story joke, pretty much.
Okay. That's like okay. Yeah.
I keep tying back into it, but like the jiu-jitsu martial arts thing I've been doing, like, dude, like I there's no hiding out there. That's another thing too. And like doing the striking thing, I love jiu-jitsu. I get really into it. Striking gives me a little bit of anxiety, and that's why I keep leaning into that one more. Because like you got to kill that shit.
Yep.
Like, that is your brain telling you that's something that you should lean into.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that I could write I could do it, and it would of course take years like anybody else getting into comedy, but I think that I could write something that's funny. The way my brain works. And I that's doing this thing now is what made me, like, you said that, I was like, no. Part of me was like, do it, pussy. Like, I think that's a good idea. God damn it.
Let's do it.
I know what you're doing right now, and you're every word I'm saying right now, Chase is etching into stone. So like he's waiting for me to say I'll do it. We'll talk about it.
We talked about it. You just said you
It
just said you do it. You
sounds
just said,
really
You just
good,
said, God
and
damn
I'm
it. Hold on, I'm going to paste it in right here. Yeah, you just said that.
It sounds
You just
good,
said that.
and I'm interested.
Oh, easy. That was at the hour mark. That's going to be really easy to find and copy that in there too.
God damn it, motherfucker. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
What a Sunday, dude.
Yeah,
what a
dude.
nice Sunday.
Good shit. Good shit. Do you have you got suggestions? Any kind of what you been listening to, reading? What you doing?
Okay. Ooh, yeah. Let me get out my phone. If you got something on hand, go ahead.
So as an ongoing update, I suppose at this point. So I've been going through a lot of Stephen King, right? So last week I talked about I was reading The Shining. Finished that. It was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course I've watched the movie, but I never did read the book. Very different.
Two different things. Remember, like one
anything,
is Kubrick's
any kind
story.
of adaptation. Yeah,
Kubrick. Yeah, like I said, he was like, "Fuck you" to Stephen King. This is mine. So that's a gray area in book to movie. They don't count because they were the same story that was stolen and made into two different things.
Yeah, I think most movies that are based after books, it's the same scenario.
But that's the special one, though.
Yeah,
that's the special one. That was a purposeful, like, fuck you to Stephen King.
There
like,
was some
Stanley.
very some very obvious changes for sure.
And there's 7 layers in the movie. There's 7 different storylines inside of that movie that are not in the book.
Did you finish the book?
I haven't finished yet. I'm actually on. So I was looking for my phone. I don't have it, and I'm gonna make a shit ton of noise that Chase has to pick up later if I go look for it. I believe it's Survivor. Chuck P. Chuck Palahniuk. Everybody says it different.
Palahniuk.
I think it's Palahniuk or Palahniuk. So I just started Survivor by him. Okay. Amazing. I'm gonna get you. So Chase talks about all these books he likes, but he always doesn't give anybody credit when anybody is me. Dude. Hey man,
salty.
Hey bro, I gave you Pillars, bro. I gave you Pillars.
That's true.
All right.
That's true. Pillars.
I gave you Dark Tower
and the Tower. Yeah.
Yeah, I gave you Dark Tower. And I gave you Dune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you gave me the first Pillars. You gave me Pillars.
Yeah. I gave you Dune.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right.
Man, I don't know how you just said.
I read all of them before you though.
He did. Because he's a show off. But I'll get you. I'm going back on that path, and then I still need to get you into Vonnegut. First name. Fuck.
Stevie.
Stop it, Jan.
Walter.
No, somebody's gonna get mad out there. Yep, beers. So I'm on that book, Survivor, by him, and been listening to the first Days and Days album. It's not bad. It's pretty good. Holy Locust, I think, is better. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Erida Woe, amazing song by them. I've been listening to Slaughter Prevail. So Baba Yaga, listen to that song. That's awesome. And Demolisher. I think that's it, dude. I think that's all I got. I tried to watch Batman, but every time I was so fucking tired.
I haven't finished yet.
Like 4 times I've fallen asleep watching it.
I was thinking, depending on how much time I got tonight, I might watch it. But that's a 3 hour.
Oh, real quick, I know it's gonna extend this out. Have you started watching Moon Knight?
No. This week I will be. Yeah.
Me and Dylan are just broing out hard on dork shit every day at work. Every single episode on the day, and then he's like fucking text me later that night. Moon Knight's awesome, and if you like Marvel stuff, but you get worn out by like the super alpha and hot chick and like beat 'em up, smash 'em shit, like this is definitely like beat 'em up, smash 'em shit, but it's a completely different take because the main character has a mental illness where he has multiple personalities.
Visually, I think it looks fantastic too. I mean, I've just seen the trailers.
Yeah, it's all Egyptian. There's awesome Egyptian lore in it, and they get a suit from an Egyptian god that they are an avatar for.
Okay,
all the cool. Egyptian gods. There's a few of them are still alive. They've encased the other ones in stone because they're fucking crazy. But the ones that are still around, they just go avatar to avatar. So they pick a person and they give them power, and they make them do their bidding for them. And so Moon Knight is an avatar. And he's Mark and Steven and multiple other personalities that I'm pretty sure they're about to introduce. But so what's cool about it is like the details all the way down. So like it's the same person also. It's the guy who played Leto. I mean, well, I don't have to get back into Duke Leto, one of the best characters ever played by that guy.
So good.
Anyway, so like when Mark is like the ex-CIA like mercenary guy, when he takes the body and then invokes the suit, it's like, dude, badass, super hard adamantium moon, crescent moons that he like kills people with, and like wrapped it like a mummy with a cape and stuff. But Steven, who's like super soft and British and the nerdy one and knows he can speak like Egyptian, like he can read it, all that stuff, right? He's the nerdy one.
Okay.
When he does it, he's in a suit with white gloves and he has a face tight white face mask. It has like a stitch up with the moon right here and like a white vest, and it's almost like kind of dancey and shit. And it's just completely different personality. So the suit is different.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I know I've seen both of them, but I didn't exactly know. Yeah,
that's a different personality invoking the suit.
Okay, I'll start that this week as like when I get home and shit. So we can talk about.
I recommend that Moon Knight. Shit! Here's another one. ADHD. Eternals.
Yeah,
I just watched it.
Okay,
did you watch it?
I haven't. It's worth it.
Different take.
Okay,
I didn't
get good reviews about it, and so I never watched it. But
it was great. Imagine instead of Sumerian and like thinking of stone tablets.
Yeah.
Imagine Sumerian but living things. Like it's very Sumerian.
Okay.
Except for they didn't create, but they influenced everything.
Cool.
And the moment you think you know everything, because like it bends your brain. You have to pay attention and really break down what they're saying to get the concept, because it just unfolds more and more. And then at the end, you're like, your brain hurts, and you're like, holy shit. You know, it was really good. The comedic moments were great with the actors. At the very beginning, I was like, this looks like a different Avengers that are just like a different kind of being.
Yeah.
And it goes so goddamn deep, and it's really good. And the movie goes over 7,000 years.
Really?
The movie goes over the course of 7,000 years.
A movie or series?
The movie.
It's a movie?
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, I always thought that was a series.
They are the fighting force of the Celestials, and there's 6 Celestials at all time that literally like they make the sun make heat. They reach over and move this planet in this direction. They are the architects that are doing the physical work.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I tell you any more, it'll ruin everything.
All right.
But
that sounds way.
Well, actually, I can tell you this part. So
I saw a trailer and it looked fucking dumb. Okay, so that sounds fucking rad.
I can tell you this because it is displayed in the first 5 minutes. So this isn't any given away. So the Celestials, they had they were making the universe work. So if you can't see me, I'm just fucking buzzed and move my arms around like I'm swimming real slow. They are like reaching out and moving planets. They're making the sun make heat. You know, they're the things you don't see that are making the universe work. And then they had humans growing up everywhere and all that stuff. And then out of nowhere, from the depths of the universe, came this species of not celestial, but this mystic animal that was a predator. And all it wanted to do was eat sentient beings. So it just like they did all this work to keep the shit going to grow humans and beings on planets, and then the deviants were eating them. And so what they did is one of the Celestials, one of the 6, went to a planet called Titan, And then he got these beings called the Eternals, which were like eternal beings.
Is that Saturn's moon? Titan? Pretty sure.
Well, yeah, that's true. Dork.
But it's it's the same one.
No,
it's a different. Okay,
I think it's different. I'm just gonna say it's different, so you don't win there. so they go to this planet and they get these like special forces, aliens, superpowered people, and they bring him out and they send him to Earth, and their job is to kill all of the deviants before they kill the humans. And then when they did it super fast because they're fucking badasses, and then they're like, all right, let's go back home. Like, we're done. And the Celestial told the leader, stay put. Don't go home. Like, don't intervene in human things, but protect the humans from any outer source.
Like the Transformers.
Yeah. But like, this is the thing, but it gets super deep though. This is the part where I told you it was like a drama. Like one of the guys, every character's name is tied into human history. Okay. But like we would pronounce it wrong. Mm-hmm. Like Angelina, they did a lot of gender swaps on the actual characters. Okay. But one of them is Athena. And it's Angelina Jolie, and she's an actual total badass. But Athena.
And a babe.
And so she's actually what the Greeks saw as Athena. So she was real. And during that time, in those 7,000 years, they saw her as a goddess then. But her real name is Athena, not Athena.
That's pretty cool.
And so one of the super strong one is Gilgamesh.
Nice.
There's a bunch of different ones like that are like super rad. But one of them, I can't remember his name, but he actually is like, and the bodies they have never age. So one of them looks like he's about 17. He's a dude, and if you saw the actor, you'd recognize him. But he's like 17 years old, and he's kind of like a introvert, kind of like mean, grumpy guy. But he's like 17.
He's grumpy gills.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, for sure. But his thing is he can control humans. Okay. So the moment he wants to, his eyes turn white, and all the humans around him, he wants to control their eyes turn white, and he makes them as a flock do whatever he wants.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, but he's the one with the most PTSD. Because throughout the years he's told not to intervene, and he's watching humans butcher each other,
and he could just be like, no,
in the blink of an eye he could stop it. And there is a moment in the movie where he like turns around and he goes, they're arguing about what they should do, what they shouldn't do, and in the background these humans are butchering each other with swords, and he's just standing there like he's like a 17-year-old kid perpetually, and like turns around, sees it, and turns back, and he's like, and without saying fuck, he's like, what the fuck do you think this does to people like me? I could stop this, and he looks at the leader and he goes, "What the fuck is gonna happen if you're wrong?" He's like, "Have you ever thought what this is?"
That's pretty heavy.
That's what I'm saying. Heavy. He's like, "Have you ever thought what this has done to me?" Yeah. Yeah. Damn, so like, dude. It's like a drama, but it's very deep. So yeah, there we go. There's another 15 minutes of me talking about a movie. Okay.
So I got some shit to watch this week then.
Yeah.
Let's finish my shit here real quick. I finished The Shining, the book, not the movie. It was very good. I did appreciate
Kurt Vonnegut.
Okay,
right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Suck it, dorks. I'm smart too.
I did appreciate the character progression a lot more in the book versus the movie, but it was definitely a different thing altogether, and neither one of them is bad. I mean, that movie is still, it's been up there for me on my top list.
It's
for a
my
long time.
favorite horror movie,
and Kubrick is infallible to me as far as I'm concerned. You know,
that's his masterpiece.
Yeah, I like Clockwork Orange more.
Well, no, it's his masterpiece in the sense of the way he made it. Yeah. I've thrown it out there before. There's a documentary, Room 237. It's based on the breakdown of that movie. He had made 2 movies before that. After he did one, I can't remember. It was after 2001. He made a couple movies that they did well, and he was like he's people don't know that he was one of the smartest people on earth at time. His IQ was so high. He was a member of Mensa. Yeah. His IQ was so high. He was one of the smartest men on earth at one time. And he was so unchallenged that when he decided to do The Shining, he was like, I can do some cool stuff with this. And then Stephen King showed up on set and tried to do a soy boy flex on him and was like, this is one of my... It's
hard to say. Like,
I agree with Stephen because he wrote it. But he was like, don't change anything. Yeah. And Kubrick went, this is it. I'm going to flex my brain. And he put 7 layers of storyline. Yeah. And the very opening scene of the movie, when it shows the VW bug rolling, and I think it's yellow.
It's supposed to be red.
In the book, it was red. And in the movie, it's yellow. So the opening scene, Kubrick said, I did that because it's a middle finger to Stephen King from the very beginning. This is my story now.
It may have been blue in the movie, but whatever. He changed it specifically so that first scene.
Yeah. That's why I say that, like, I never include The Shining into movie to book stories or arguments or debates or anything. I don't include those. Like, anytime someone brings up The Shining, I'm like, we can't talk about that because that's an outlier. That's a different thing.
The thing is, I mean, especially with King, most of his stuff has been adapted into a film.
A lot, yeah.
Not most, maybe. Probably most.
Yeah.
Probably
most. Look, like a lot that people don't think about. The Green Mile,
Cujo,
Carrie,
at least one Dark Tower.
Oh, dude, one that I watched,
The Shining, Doctor Sleep.
Here's one that was in my grandma's VHS cabinet.
Yeah,
remember those?
Yeah,
grandma's VHS cabinet.
You had to push in the glass.
Yes, the magnet push.
Yeah.
They what's it called? They Come Again.
Oh yeah.
It's something like that. They Come Again. They Come Back. They Come Back Again. Something like. There's two of them.
I know what you're talking. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Where like the greasers get killed after they hit by the train after they stab people.
They Come Again.
And then like it's later on in that town, and the greasers like come back as ghosts, and they're like haunting people, and they have to go to like the train tunnel. Yep. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think one of yours also is Stand By Me.
Absolutely. By the way, so like I've interluded it before. The bridge that they run across and stuff. I don't even think me and you talked about it, and I posted a picture. It was a memory of like a picture just of my feet on that bridge, and there's an old plate where someone wrote "Stand By Me" on it. It's the bridge from the movie, and it's in Northern California, outside Bernie, in the middle of nowhere. I took a picture there because that's where I took my ex-wife on our first date, and that's where I proposed. But this is a weird story about it, right? So you got to drive way out past the res, way out in the middle of nowhere, and you find it's decommissioned. We parked, we got out, and we took pictures and stuff, being all cutesy and shit on this bridge, and it's kind of sketchy, dude. She was like getting freaked out about me jumping from beam to beam. And there's every 20 feet, there's like a long beam that sticks out farther. So I went in the dead center of it, and I laid on my back on it, and I hooked my feet onto the main track, and I hung upside down from it. And first date with my son's mom, dude. And I'm
Guy's crazy.
He's crazy. I'm completely upside down above this fucking river.
Hell yeah.
But
that's a long ways down.
But this is the weird part. We walked across it, and we started going up this hill. It was early spring. There was a full 1.5 foot around orange pumpkin just sitting by itself.
That's pretty weird.
On top of a mountain.
It's a little weird.
Out of season.
It's a big bird.
Big ass pumpkin just sitting there.
That's...
It was a sign from the gods that were like, if it feels weird, don't marry her. But anyway, no, it was a good time.
Didn't see the balloon.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was a good time.
So after I finished, where was I going with that? Anyway,
your books, The Shining.
Yeah. I started Dr. Sleep. I think I like it better. I
saw the movie first.
I haven't seen the movie. So I was kind of happy about that because I went in completely not knowing what the story was going to be.
So if you were to watch the Kubrick Shining and then watch that, you would instantly feel King from the very moment it starts. Feels like a book adaptation. Feels like Stephen King. It's really good. Really good. I liked it a lot. And Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan can do no wrong.
Storyline's cool.
Obi-No
It's
Wong.
pretty neat. Obi-No Wong. Obi-No Wong. All right. Well, I think that's what I got for my suggestion, I guess, is to read Dr. Sleep because it's fantastic, and just spend a lot of time reading a lot of King because the man is the man. Yeah. If you guys have suggestions, like seriously, we're trying to get back on track entirely with this stuff.
Really realistic of every week. Like I know we've said we're going to do weeks every weekly before. This is like one of the most realistic times I see us doing every single week. No problem.
Yeah, and look out for us doing some more, or to start doing some on location kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Mixing
it up,
some
doing all
different
kinds of
content.
stuff. Maybe bank it some episodes.
Yeah. I'm excited about what we can do this summer. We got some cool shit coming up. So
fuck yeah.
big things coming soon.
Montana summer. Hot guy summer.
Fuck yeah. All right. Well, that's we did it. That's episode 32. Stay strange. We'll see you guys again next week. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, boys. Let's go.